Hi, it's Dre Griggs of Obsidian Wisdom. Today we answer the question, how do I see how many credits I have? We'll also answer the question, how do I see what my current monthly estimated retirement benefits are going to be? These are questions that we all have when we're trying to make our retirement plan, especially when we're trying to figure out how much money do I need to add to my overall Social Security benefits. Now, it's important to know that we can't rely only on Social Security, and they even mention that for you as well. But it is something that, as long as you're able to access it, that it is something we should think about, something that we should be calculating and we should be mindful of. But it is currently estimated that Social Security is going to run out of money to operate the way it currently is in 2041. Now, it's still taking the taxes, so there'll still be some form of Social Security, but we don't know what those changes will be. Whether they lower how much we would get, whether maybe you get 60 cents on every dollar that they owe you, 70 cents on every dollar that they owe you, or whether they change the overall age where it says, okay, instead of it being 67 as full retirement, maybe it's going to be 70. Maybe you can work till you're 75. We don't know what they'll change, but what we do know is that 2041 is estimated that the way it's currently designed, that there won't be enough money for it to be able to operate that way. Now, if you're someone who's trying to figure out how many credits do I have, what's my estimated Social Security monthly income and all these, then what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you. And what you'll see here is if you went to socialsecurityadministration.gov/my account/statements, and I'll put a link into the show notes so you don't have to worry about it. What you really need to be able to answer all these questions is you have to look at your Social Security statement. And you can create an account at any age so you can access the information, but you will see it does tell you, hey, look, if you don't go in here and create an account so you can see your online statement, what we'll do is it says for workers age 60 and older who do not have an account, that they will start mailing in your Social Security statements 3 months prior to your birthday. So what that means is once you're 60 and older, so my birthday is in May, so 3 months prior would be February. So every February after I'm 60 and older, I'll receive my Social Security statement. With that said, you probably should go ahead and create an account. All you would do is you would click here, you would click create your account, and then you go through the prompts. You'll click here, it says create an account here. And then after that, you'll just be able to log in with each one. Now you may ask, hey, Dre, what's the difference? And really the only difference is whether you created your account before September 18th, 2021 or after. If you created it before September 18th, 2021, then you'll probably have a Social Security username and then you'll sign in through this one. If you created it afterwards, you would have had a login.gov. If for some reason your login.gov didn't work, then you would have had the ID me. But for most people, it's going to be the login.gov. Now I've already accessed, and you can see what they do is they give you an example of what your Social Security statement is going to look like, which I think is kind of nice. And you'll see that it has all the information that you would need. So when it comes to your overall retirement benefits, your statement is going to list that for you. It says based on your birthday, your full retirement age is going to be 67, and that you can retire anytime between 62 and 70. Over here, we see what that does. You'll basically see an 8% increase in whatever your income would be for every year that you don't retire. Now, naturally, it depends on how long you think you live and a bunch of other factors. It's not the easiest thing to answer, but you can see that if you have the ability to maintain your lifestyle, or if you're going to continue working, however that looks for you, and you're able to wait till 70, that you'll see you'll receive an 8% bump every single year in what your monthly income would be for the rest of your life. And then what it does is it'll tell you what they use to calculate what that monthly income will be. So for this particular person, it says you have $54,489 per year is what we're estimating your income to be. As long as you maintain those earnings when adjusted for inflation, then this is what you can expect to have. Now, obviously that number could change. You can make more, you can make less, but they're simply saying this is what your estimate is currently and how much you can expect to have. When you then look at the disability benefits, it says you have earned enough credits to qualify for disability benefits as well. And it says that you can estimate that monthly amount to be about $2,083. So again, it answers a lot of your Social Security questions in a very direct way where it just gives you the number and then you don't have to worry as much. And then when we talk about our survivor benefits, and I'll put a link to the other video where we go over, hey, how do I get my 40 credits? And then we talk about some of the different benefits and payments you'd receive. It says that your monthly income for your minor child will be $1,562. It says if you have a spouse who is caring for disabled or children younger than 16, they would receive that $1,562. It says for your spouse, if benefits start at full retirement age, that's $2,083. So they'll see that your spouse is getting the same $2,083 that would have been your disability benefits. And then you'll see it says the total family benefits cannot be more than $3,802. So that's everybody. That's the spouse, that's the survivor, that's the disabilities, that's the kids, however you want to split this apple up. They're saying, look, we're not going to give you more than $3,802. So if that cuts into some of your benefits, then it cuts into what some of the benefits would have been separately. And then it says your spouse or minor children may be eligible for an additional one-time death benefit of $255. And you'll be able to see what that looks like. And then we move over to this next Medicare box, and that's also included in Social Security benefits, because we talked about the credits in the other video, where the credits in Social Security and Medicare credit, where they often work together. Sometimes when you enroll in one, it automatically rolls you even into the other. But when it comes to Medicare, it says you have enough credits to qualify for Medicare at the age of 65. And it's some important things that they do mention that I often tell all of my clients as well, which is even if you do not retire at the age of 65, you still may need to sign up for Medicare within 3 months of your 65th birthday to avoid a lifetime late enrollment penalty, which is a very fancy way of saying if you enrolled at 65 and your premiums that you would have paid, because Medicare does have premiums and then it opens you up into your overall healthcare coverage. Let's say it would have been, I don't know, $500 a month. Well, if you enrolled at 66, maybe it would have been $550 a month. Well, I'm just throwing numbers out there. I'm not looking up the exact ones, but then you would pay the extra $50 every single month for the rest of your life because you enrolled at 66 instead of 65. So even if you're still working and you're sitting there saying, well, Dre, I'm going to use my employment's healthcare plan, so I don't need to enroll in Medicare. As long as you understand that what you're doing is you're going to increase what your monthly payment would be. And the reason the government does that is the reason that most insurance companies would do that. The assumption is if you access it later, then something may have happened. You may be sick. You may actually need the benefits and plan on using them immediately. Well, because you're going to use them immediately without paying that much into it, if everyone did that, then the program would become insolvent, which just means it would dissolve because it's not generating enough money. So as a result, the government tries to make sure that that doesn't happen, as most insurance companies do, by giving you some sort of a penalty. And so when you move into the second page of your Social Security statement, it gives you your earnings records, which is pretty nice. Now, obviously, this is something that most of us aren't going to be able to say, I know exactly how much I made or how much I paid, and I can tell you that this is incorrect or it is correct. I get it. But it is at least nice that they list it out so you can see it. If there's something obviously wrong, then at least you know what year you want them to investigate. But they list out every single year that you had your earnings. So it says your earnings tax for Social Security, and then it lists it all out for you. And then it goes into 91 to 2000, and then it goes into each year of the individual breakdown. And for this particular statement, it stops where it says not yet recorded for 2021. And then it also does the same thing with your earnings tax for Medicare. And then it goes through each of those years as well. And then it breaks it down for you again. And then lets you know how much the taxes that you paid were. So it says, hey, look, the total estimated Social Security and Medicare taxes paid over your working career. And then it listed for you. It says you paid $75,568. It says your employer paid $77,498. And then when you look at your Medicare taxes, it says you paid $18,158. And then it says your employer paid $18,158. So you're just able to see how much taxes that you paid are. And then the very last section, it talks about earnings not covered by Social Security, which just basically means if you had a job that did not pay Social Security taxes. So I mentioned to you guys before that I have worked a few years within the railroad industry, and railroad has a completely different pension system where you're paying into railroad retirement. Now, it's not completely different in the sense that it doesn't work very similar to Social Security. In fact, the railroad retirement was modeled after Social Security. And there was even a small point in time where people were getting both Social Security and railroad retirement, but they cleaned it up and closed that loophole where the amount that you get in one impacts how much you can get from the other one. And so it's not that way anymore. But if you have some sort of a government job or the railroad job where you're paying into something else, that's going to impact the earnings that you would get from Social Security. And then the last thing is they just give you some important tidbits, things that you would want to know, which is kind of some of the things that we discussed, but we will go through them just as a fresh reminder, is that your Social Security is not intended to be your only source of retirement income, and that you need to have other savings, investments, pensions, and retirement accounts to make sure you have enough money. And I'll make another video where I'll show you how to calculate what your monthly income would be. Next, you need to work at least 10 years and have 40 credits, and that your benefit amount is based on your highest 35 years of earnings. And if you have fewer than 35 years of earnings, years without work count as a zero, which may reduce your benefits. And if we're talking about the average, it's like it will reduce your benefits. To keep up with inflation, benefits are adjusted through a cost of living adjustment. You may have heard the phrase COLA. That's what we're talking about, cost of living adjustments. If you get retirement or disability benefits, your spouse or children may qualify for the benefits. We went through that as well. When you apply for either retirement or spousal benefits, you may be required to apply for both benefits at the same time. If you and your spouse both work, use the My Social Security Retirement Calculator to estimate your spousal benefits, because many times you can choose whichever one would give you the most money, whoever's income you want to use. The age you claim benefits will affect the benefit amount for your surviving spouse. For example, claiming benefits after your full retirement age may increase the spouse if benefits start at full retirement age amount on page 1. Claiming early may reduce it. If you are divorced and were married for 10 years, you may be able to claim benefits on your ex-spouse's record. If your ex-spouse received benefits on your record, that does not affect your or your current spouse's benefit amounts, right? So just say, hey, look, there's nothing to worry about. It's just a way for your ex-spouse to be taken care of, but it's not at your expense. And then, of course, it gives you a couple links if you want to learn more, if you're ready to apply for your overall Social Security benefits. And just a reminder that the statement is updated annually. So you can see, out of all the difficult things that you're going to face when it comes to Social Security clearing, one of the cleanest and easiest to look at is going to be your Social Security statement. In it, it'll tell you how many credits you have. In it, it'll tell you the earnings that you have. It tells you how much your spouse or your children who are minors, how much you'll receive. It even tells you how much your monthly Social Security income will be based on the year and the age that you claim your Social Security benefits. I find the Social Security statement is a great place to start looking, especially if you plan on using your Social Security as a significant part of your overall retirement plan. If you find value in this video, I ask for you to like and subscribe so you can continue receiving valuable insights on how to create a wealthy retirement system so you can worry less and live more. Until next time, stay safe and enjoy life.